Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Matt from MC Moto. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on my 2006 Victory Vegas. Alright, so let's take a look at what comes in this oil change kit from Polaris. We've got an oil filter, crush washer for the drain plug, a new O-ring for the dipstick, and 4.5 quarts of Victory brand 20W40 engine oil. Look at this little guy. I like these kits because they're convenient, made specifically for my bike, and I can have them shipped right to my house. Be sure to check your bike's manual for specifics as to what type of oil is appropriate for your motorcycle engine. It's always a good idea to gather all the tools and supplies you'll be using first. The last thing you want to be doing in the middle of an oil change is trying to find the right socket or trying to find where you put that oil funnel last year. Now the tool you'll be using to remove your drain plug will vary by motorcycle. For my Victory Vegas, I use this number 6 Allen socket and compact socket wrench. You'll also need an oil drain pan, a funnel, a rag or shop towels, and highly recommended, get you some gloves. Oil is nasty stuff. You don't want it all over your precious little fingies. All in all, this is a very easy maintenance task. You'll save money doing it yourself, and you'll get a little bit of self-pride knowing that you changed the oil on your motorcycle. The very first thing you'll need to do is start up the motorcycle and let it run for about 5 minutes. It's really cold outside right now, probably about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. The oil that's sitting in there is thick, it's sludgy, it's not going to want to flow out of the bike the way we need it to. So start it up, let it run, enjoy the sweet sounds of that exhaust, and grab yourself a nice cold beverage while you wait. Now that the bike is warmed up, we're going to get it up on the lift, and I'll show you how to drain the oil out. We're going to give it a few minutes to let all that oil that was circulating through the engine move its way back down into the oil pan. All right, now I'm going to get the lift into position, and I'm going to raise the bike up into the air to make it much easier to work on. Now that we've got the bike securely up on the lift, the next thing I'm going to do is remove the oil dipstick. Removing the dipstick will allow the oil to flow freely when you remove the oil drain plug next. Be careful when you're removing this. Depending on where it is on your bike, it might be next to a very hot exhaust like it is on mine. And again, you don't want to burn your precious little fingies. Got that out. I'm going to set it down just on a piece of cardboard for now, and we will come back to that later. Next, I'm going to locate where my oil drain plug is. Now, this is going to be a different location in all different makes and models of bikes. You can refer to your owner's manual to find out where yours is, or just do it the old-fashioned way and explore your bike. Take a look around. I'm going to use the handheld to show you where mine is, and then from there we're going to position the oil pan and get this oil drained. Look up under the engine, and we should find it right there. This is my oil drain plug. And you can see this one uses that number 6 Allen socket I was talking about, and it's got that brass crush washer right behind it. Be very careful when you're removing and replacing these drain plugs. They can strip easily, and they do not need to be torqued down super tight to hold your oil in. Now I'm going to go under the engine with this number 6 Allen socket, loosen the drain plug, and get my fingers and tool out of the way so I do not get oil all over them. Once you get it loose, you can use your finger until you feel it click out, and then just move it really quickly out of the way so the oil does not get on you. Boom. Success. Now we just wait for all that oil to drain out. Go enjoy that drink. Now that we're down to a really slow drip, I'm going to remove the oil drain pan so I can put it beneath the oil filter. And you don't want none of that oil getting on your garage floor. So today I'm going to be using a empty cherry jar to catch the little drips. Timed it just right. All right, let's get that oil filter off. The oil filter on my bike is located at the rear base of the engine. It's right here. Now they do make an oil filter wrench that you may or may not need depending on how tightly your oil filter is screwed in. Now I've done a few oil changes on this bike, so I know that my oil filter is only hand tight, which is all it needs to be. It does not need to be cranked down there super hard. This thing has never leaked a drop of oil. I'm going to go ahead and remove the oil filter. I've got my drain pan located directly below where it's going to shoot out, and I'm just going to drain the remainder of the oil. And there you go. With a little good old-fashioned elbow grease and strength, oil filter comes right off. Be careful, there's going to be some oil left in the filter. Let that drip upside down for a minute, and there you go. Oil filter is removed. All right, now I've got the new filter from my kit. There's some threads in the top of it, right in here, and you'll want to line those up with some fresh, clean oil. Just kind of lubricate them a little bit. This will help you down the road when you're doing your next oil change. I'm going to pour just a little bit into the filter, spread it around the threads, then I'm going to put the new filter onto the bike. And there you go. Oiled up and ready to be installed. Make sure you turn it counterclockwise so that you do not cross thread the threads that this screws onto. That would be no good for anyone. You're going to want to take your shop towel or rag, wipe off your gloves, wipe off the outside of this filter if you got any oil on it like I just did. That way you can get a good grip to get this on there nice and tight. Again, just needs to be hand snug. And once you got a hand snug, just a little bit more. New filter is installed. All right, now I'm taking the new crush washer out of the package and I'm going to put it onto the drain plug and reinstall the drain plug. Here's my drain plug, here's my crush washer, installed. Let's put it on the bike. Same thing with the oil filter. You want to twist it counterclockwise until you hear it click. I'm going to put that in hand tight. I'm going to take my rag, clean up around the area. Then I'm going to use my socket just to make it a little bit more snug. Nothing crazy. And that's it. The drain plug is replaced. The new filter's on. We can fill this bad boy up with some oil. All right, here's our dipstick from before. If you look right here, that is where the O-ring is that we're going to be replacing. These things can be a little finicky. I like to grab just a knife, work it up in there, work it around, and then get the rest off with my fingers, which I'm going to do off camera because I need to focus. All right, once you work this O-ring off, slides off pretty easy. Old one off, boop. We're going to slide the new one down over. Get that snug all the way around. All right, now that we've got the new O-ring on the dipstick, we're going to put in 3 quarts of oil. Let the engine run for a minute or two to let the oil circulate. Then we'll continue adding oil until the level on this dipstick is in between add 1 quart and full. That's how you know it's the right amount. You don't want to just put in the 4.5 quarts or whatever your manual says. Use your dipstick to make sure you have the proper oil amount. You do not want to overfill or underfill your engine. Grab that oil funnel from before, put it into the fill tube, and start putting oil in it. All right, I've got 3 quarts in the engine. I'm going to go ahead and lightly replace the dipstick, get it started up for about a minute, and then I'll continue filling the oil. I'm going to go ahead and put in the 4th quart, and then from there I'll just slightly add more until the dipstick says it's the right amount. You're going to want to make sure that your dipstick is nice and clean. I'm going to insert it fully into the engine and see how much oil I need to add. And again, we put 4 quarts in this engine. Manual calls for 4.5, but you don't always get all the oil out when you drain it. So it is currently right in the middle between add 1 quart and full. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more, get it up to the full line, and this oil change will be done. If you see here, we got it right perfectly up to the full line. Doesn't get any better than that, folks. This oil change is complete. I'm going to put my dipstick back in, clean up the garage, and have a nice rest of the day. Folks, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for stopping by. And if you decide to do your own oil change after this, I'm very proud of you.